In the Florida Keys this morning, a steady stream of cars heading north. As of 6 a.m., all tourists were told to leave ahead of Hurricane Irma. State leaders are telling people to prepare for the worst, saying they're certain the huge and potentially catastrophic storm will impact Florida in at least some way by the end of the weekend. Kenneth Craig is in Miami this morning, where people are preparing for a direct hit.
Packing 185-mile-an-hour winds, Hurricane Irma made landfall in the Caribbean early Wednesday, barreling into the island of St. Martin. The storm flooded a harbor, stranding cars. Irma is the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic. This is the view from the eye of the storm. In Puerto Rico, the island's 3.4 million residents braced for the worst. The head of the power company says parts of the island could be in the dark for weeks or even months afterward. Irma is still days away from the U.S. mainland and is now tracking more east.
The storm is bigger, faster, and stronger than Hurricane Andrew.
Mandatory evacuations are already in effect for the Florida Keys, forcing people to get in their cars and leave. Elizabeth Prado lives in the Keys. This is the first time in 51 years she's evacuating.
I've been through George, been through Andrew, been through Wilma, but I'm not staying for Irma. No, not happening.
And in Miami, residents filled up sandbags. State officials are urging residents who live in low-lying areas in Miami-Dade County to start evacuating as well, although it is not mandatory. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Miami.
And Irma has already slammed into several of the most popular islands in the Caribbean, flooding streets in St. Martin and tearing down trees in Antigua. Meteorologist Jeff Jameson joins us now with a look at Irma's predicted track and what we think is going to happen. Jeff.
Yeah, and it's still a monster storm. We have pictures coming out of Puerto Rico, too, of rain that's starting up. The eye is right here, just about to enter in toward the British Virgin Islands. And you can see here we put the radar on top of the satellite in that very classic circular eye, indicating a very powerful hurricane moving in toward the Virgin Islands and eventually Puerto Rico later on today. Latest path came out a few minutes ago. Still, we have maximum sustained winds at 185 miles an hour. It will continue to track to the northwest. Tomorrow morning, it's north of the Dominican Republic. As a Category 5, it rolls north of Cuba, and we're still expecting landfall somewhere in Florida coming up by Sunday. But again, a lot of the computer models are shifting this track a little bit farther to the east. You see it by the time we get to Monday morning, it's hugging the east coast of Florida. We'll take a look at some of those various computer models and what they're indicating, plus two more tropical systems out there as well. We'll look at all that coming up in a bit.